It's October, which means MLB's 162-game regular season is coming to an end. This also means we know which teams fell short of expectations, and we'll have to watch the postseason from the couch. In this video, I'm going to be giving my opinion on the 5 most disappointing teams this year. Before I get into it, welcome to the War Room, a channel where I discuss all things baseball related. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight to it. Starting at number 5, I'm going with the San Francisco Giants. The Giants had the best record in the entire league last season at 107-55, though they lost in the NLDS versus the Dodgers. Even before this season, it was well understood that San Francisco's 2021 campaign was most likely a fluke. They had no business winning the NL West or league best 107 games. With that being said, they were still expected to be somewhat competitive this year. But unlike the very consistent 2021 season, the team was the exact opposite in 2022. Some of the Giants' notable records this year were 13-5, 35-26, 40-39, 61-68, and 80-80. A very up and down year that ends with them being mid and missing the postseason. Number 4 is the Boston Red Sox. The AL East was easily the most stacked division in 2022, and everyone knew it was going to be that way heading into the season. There's the Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, and Red Sox all expected to compete for the division title, then the Orioles sitting at the bottom once again. But in a very surprising turn of events, the Orioles put together their first above 500 season since 2016, and the Red Sox were the team looking up at everyone else. It's not a huge deal that Boston didn't win this division because, like I said, there were a lot of good teams, but coming in last, especially with the talent they have on their roster, should be a concern for fans in Boston. At number 3, it's the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels being disappointing is nothing new, not only for fans in LA, but for anyone who watches baseball. They have 2 generational talents in Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and nothing else. LA started the year 27-17, and with this good start, many thought this would finally be the year they can reach the postseason, and we could see 2 of the best players on the planet on the biggest stage. But immediately after this, they lost 14 games in a row, and haven't sniffed a postseason spot since. Mike Trout has now completed his 12th MLB season, and we've seen him in the playoffs just one time. Since Trout made his debut in 2011, we've seen teams like the Oakland A's be very good, restructure the roster and be bad, rebuild and be very good again, then be bad again. All in the same time period, the Angels have not progressed forwards at all. Number 2 is the Milwaukee Brewers. Coming into this year, many people had the Brewers as a dark horse World Series contender. They play in a weak division, they won 95 games in 2021, and they still have one of the best pitching rotations in the league. Looking at the league pitching rankings, you'd think they made the playoffs. They're top 3 in saves and strikeouts, 10th in WHIP, and 12th in team ERA. The offensive side of the ball is weaker, but still not terrible, as they rank top 3 in the league in home runs. This team has just failed to go on a hot stretch that solidified them first place in the NL Central, though they had the talent to do so. Milwaukee's longest winning streak of the 2022 season was just 5 games. Kinda hard to put a playoff season together when you've never swept back-to-back series the entire year. They are officially the last team to be eliminated from playoff contention, as they will finish a few games out of the wild card. And lastly, the number 1 most disappointing team of 2022 is the Chicago White Sox. I've made videos about the White Sox in the past explaining why they were so bad this year, but I'll say it again. Tony La Russa, who recently announced his retirement, just wasn't the right manager for this team. The fans in Chicago were chanting "Fire Tony" frequently throughout the season. The White Sox are pretty much the American League version of the Brewers. They also play in a not-so-great division, and their roster was not only built for the postseason, but the World Series. They were ranked by Fangraphs as the 3rd best team in the AL prior to the year. They also had the same betting odds as the defending champion Braves, as well as the Mets to win the 2022 World Series. But every bad thing that could have gone wrong went wrong. They've been floating around 500 for a few months, which I can imagine was very hard to watch if you're a fan of this team. Their roster seemed like it was just too loaded to be mediocre for so long. I thought at some point they would go on a run to win this division, but here we are. So the Chicago White Sox are in the title for the most disappointing team in 2022. What did you agree or disagree with from this video? Let me know in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.